Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Brought to you in part by Master Networks Wylie and powered by the Difference Media LLC. Today's show is hosted by the creator of the North Texas Community Difference series, Lendon Wilson, and co-hosted by Melissa Berry and Melissa Mancini. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our co-host and their guests share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie starts now.
Well, good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning today. Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie podcast. Excited to have everybody here this morning. I am not Lendon Wilson. Lendon is on a much-needed vacation. He is on his way up to Estes Park. Hopefully he doesn't do any skiing. I don't know if he's able to do that. Hopefully he's listening and knows that I'm ribbing him a little bit. But we miss him. We're glad to be able to continue the show every Tuesday morning, 8:30, and of course also 11:30 on Thursday morning as well. So excited to be here with you guys. My name is Nathan Smith. I have been part of the Difference for a long time at a number of different shows. Also part of the PodConnect group that we've started to launch on Wednesdays at 11:30 as well. So excited to be here. And we have a number of Master Networks members that are watching the show. If you're live with us today, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. If you go back and watch the show later, obviously we love your comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're listening on the Difference Radio, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, Facebook, etc. Again, we're excited to be here with you today. And so the point of the show, right, if you haven't tracked with us so far, I mean, we take the concept of community engagement, the Wylie Master Networks chapter, which is where all of our co-hosts come from. We've got a number of great co-hosts today. Well, really just one today. We're going to have two. Had a little scheduling conflict, no big deal. But we saved the best one for you, so we're excited. But the idea is to really learn to interact with your community, right? As small business owners, you have people that join chambers, that join networking groups that are try to do their own marketing, right? But at the end of the day, community engagement, community involvement, getting out there, meeting people, building know, like, and trust factor, that is the quintessential key to growing your business, to having that impact in your community, that engagement, if you will. And so right off the bat, I want to bring on our first, or our only co-host today, I should say. I want to welcome a hearty Wylie welcome to Melissa Mancini. Good morning, Melissa. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm great, Nathan. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Just sitting here. I'm the only one at my office today. A number of my colleagues are on their way to Cabo, and I did not go for a lot of reasons. Don't feel bad for me. I'll go eventually.
Oh, I feel bad for me.
Hey, I'm getting here. I'm getting stuff done, so that's important. So yeah, that's okay. So just for obviously my sake, but also for our listeners, give us a little insight about you, who you are. Talk about your photography business for just a second, and then we'll jump into a couple other topics.
Yeah, so my name is Melissa Mancini. I own Melissa Mancini Photography in downtown Wylie on Ballard Street. And I've been here, I don't know, since 2015, I guess. And I really love our community. Wylie is incredible. It's this, I don't know, movie status like place, something that you only see on TV. Like, the community is really tight knit, and we're all good friends, and we all care about each other. And yeah, so with my business, it's really easy for me to ingrain in my clients and the community, because that's really what my business is about relationships and building an amazing experience that's custom to what my clients really, really dream about when it comes to their photography session.
Well, let's talk about that for just a moment. Well, I'm going to table that actually for a second because I always like to ask people how they got into the business they're in. Like, what led you to photography?
Oh
Is this
man.
something from an early age, or you just decided, hey, I'm going to get a shot, or how did that work out?
I don't know. So both my parents dabbled in photography when I was a kid, just freelance stuff. But then my father actually worked for Ted Turner at Turner Broadcasting.
Oh,
He did
wow.
digital television editing my entire childhood. And I got to see really cool things like digital cartoons being made and um, all the dubbing that goes on during the Olympics and World Series and wrestling, for instance, So I grew up kind of in the studio and really, as much as you can be when your dad works, as much as mine did. But you pop in every now and then and get to see all of it. And then really, I just had a camera in my hands my whole childhood after that. Back in the day, it was the little film camera. You had to flip the thing open and, this little bitty camera. But I really loved it. I printed everything.
I remember those cameras, by the way.
Yeah, really, really dating me right now. But I took photography in high school and learned how to make a camera out of a shoebox. I've really been doing this forever. And then, you have kids and just being the mom tog, if you will, learning to use my camera. And I'm self-taught, honestly. I learned everything by teaching myself or going to seminars and, taking training classes. But yeah, just all kind of along the way.
Yeah, that's so funny because I actually took a photography class in high school. Also, we had the dark room in our high school. Did you have that? Where did you go to high school?
I went to high school right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in Lilburn, or I guess Gwinnett County, a school called Berkmar High School. Shout out.
Yeah, so I remember doing the dark room, and it was only black and white photography. And then my first job right out of high school, I worked in the photo lab at Walmart, which doesn't exist anymore,
right?
Because nobody does that.
Well, we have machines now.
We have machines, yes. I can't even. I mean, I guess the only purpose of pictures is to go in a frame or a photo album, which most people don't even do photo albums anymore.
Right. Well, so that's the cool part about what I do. I actually don't do just digital artwork or digital files. I don't just give the clients, this chip with all these images and like, good luck.
Yeah.
Figuring that out. We go through it. We watch a video of the whole thing, the whole gallery, and we go through each individual image and we choose our favorite select few. And you're able to actually order an album or a large custom piece of canvas artwork. I do metals and acrylics and all kinds of things, but my albums and all of my artwork that I sell to my clients really, really creates a home for them, and not just, we have a home for this album. Like, you put this in your house and now you have a home. Your kids come home and they see themselves on, the wall, and they're like, oh, my mom loves me. And or they had a really bad day, but they walk in and they see this amazing photo of themselves and they're just like, oh, I'm so cute. If you look at me, I am way better than all the things that just happened today. And so it's a really empowering thing to have.
Tara Padilla really loves your artwork. It says it shows in your photography shows in your work.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
Thanks, Tara. I really, really love what I do.
Also, Jessica says that she used to work in a dark room for a newspaper in Wyoming. Okay.
It's a really cool thing. Dark rooms are interesting.
I remember how hard it was to figure out how to take the roll out and load it into the developer thing. I remember some other canister without seeing anything. Like, I failed at it so many times. Now you finally get it, after a little while.
Well, and the dark room is an interesting thing because you can't cross contaminate the chemicals that are in there. You kind of go from each tray to each tray. And there was early on in my learning, I cross contaminated the chemicals and ended up with this amazing purple splotchy, whatever, I don't even know, a print on top of my my photo that we developed in the dark room. And I ended up winning a contest with it, and it was published in a book when I was in high school, like a local art book. So yeah, it's really interesting what you can do in the dark room as well.
Well, not to be corny, but speaking of exposure, one of the biggest things that you want in a business is obviously to be able to be seen in the community and engage the community. We'll talk about that for just a moment. Why is community involvement and engagement so important? And specifically, you talked about the Wylie community for a second, and it's just really, hometown USA kind of feel. Everybody knows each other, but still, being involved in the community, not just for the sake of your business, but just as a citizen, is also very important. So how do you see your role, maybe both as a business owner, but also just as a citizen of Wylie, and how has that kind of developed for you?
So I have 3 sons in the district, and they are in all stages of the district. I have one in elementary, one in intermediate, and one in high school. And without, I've been a PTA for a long time. So I do a lot of PTA stuff since my oldest is 16, since he was in school initially. And I see the things that, the children get to have with and without the PTA. And it's a huge difference. Like the impact that volunteering with the PTA, I do many other things, but PTA specifically, I'm on the council board of PTAs for our district in Wylie, and we sort of liaison and help our local schools make sure that they are giving the best programs that they can to the kids. They really, really need support and need to know how to do things. And so I do a lot of training with the Texas State PTA to learn how to help everybody along the way so that we can give our kids great things. It's really important, especially with the youth of our community and our nation, that we really, really ingrain in our kids and that, being community and helping each other out. And they see everything that we do. And so I just really try to be an example for my kids, as well as be there to support the things that they need and help the teachers and the other volunteers along the way. So.
Well, that's you think that's what you should be doing. So that's a good thing. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, I guess, with a lot of folks. So it's good to see that is such a top of mind priority, and it's really a big part of the show and being kind of a face to the community, because Lynn and I have talked about this in various other shows many times, but the biggest thing that we can do to ensure the strength of our small communities that don't get overshadowed by giant metropolitan areas or giant corporations, which obviously serve their purpose, nothing against that, but it's to build those bonds business to business and really be each other's best advocates and customers and clients, and just kind of build that network across the nation, right? Not within each small town, right? And of course, Wylie is trending towards not as small of a town, which is good and bad. I kind of like the small town feel, but it also means that there's a lot of people wanting to come to Wylie for a number of reasons that you mentioned. So a couple minutes before we go to our first break, for you specifically, talk about the type of photography that you do or what you really specialize in, but also what field or what type of shoots are you looking to maybe branch into, or ideal clients that you're kind of looking for in this particular season. Talk about those things for just a moment.
Okay. So I actually really, really focus my creativity really comes, I guess, when I'm working with families and high school seniors. I do a lot of branding as well. So with the families, I have been photographing the cover for a local publication for the Inspiration neighborhood called Stroll, formerly known as Life Inspired. But I've been doing that for about 7 years, maybe 6 or 7 years, right in there. And I've really gotten to a point where everyone honestly thinks I live in that neighborhood because I'm there so often and I know so many of the neighbors and they become such good friends of mine. But so with that, I kind of found my way into seniors, and I really, really love seniors. Seniors are great because it's just one person and you can focus on them and you really, really get to dig out that personality and that character and exactly what they want to see in their in their senior portraits that they get to see forever. And then when it comes to branding, I really want my branding clients to feel empowered and like have that photo that just really explains and draws out and tells the story that they need to tell, that shows exactly what their business is there for. So I do a lot of personality or character mining, if you will, and I try to dig down and get really deep with my clients. I go shopping with all of my clients, whether it's in their closet, whether it's on Amazon. I've had kids seniors mostly take me to thrift stores and go thrifting.
That's awesome.
So it really goes beyond the photography part for me. Yes, that's a huge beast in its own, learning all the things, but
Sure.
really for me, everything that I do is all about my clients and building exactly what they need to make them feel empowered and have them have exactly what they want. You know what I mean?
Well, that's great. And I really am excited to get into our topic of the show today. So we're going to hit our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what is going on specifically in Wylie that people need to know about. And we'll introduce our first guest today. Stick around on the Wylie Community Difference.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Marley Knapp with Norwex. Chemical-free sustainable solutions for your home. Dallas Jones with Rementis.
Bringing your technology and memories back to life.
Melissa Berry with Lawyer's Title. Melissa Mancini, owner of Melissa Mancini Photography. Don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs. And by Terra Padilla with Texan Window Cleaning. Don't let dirty windows be your pane in the glass. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
Welcome back to the Community Difference. It is time now for
What's Up, Wylie?
That's right. What's Up, Wylie? We'll bring Melissa Mancini right back in to tell us what's going on with events or things that you need to be aware of as a wonderful citizen of Wylie, Texas. Melissa, what do we need to know?
So there are several things going on, but my personal favorite, dear friends and clients of mine, Herman Marshall Whiskey. They have a tasting room in downtown Wylie on Ballard Street, and they are having this Thursday, let me make sure I give you, this Thursday, June 9th at 7 p.m., they're having an event called Whiskey Business. And this isn't just about whiskey and drinking and having a good time, which is always great and good, but what it's really about, it's benefiting the Mayberry Memorial. And so these guys are they're hosting a fundraiser essentially for the Lynch syndrome previvors. And so really, it's just a really great night to get out there, have a little fun. I think it's about $100 to get a ticket, and that gives you, everything. It gives you dinner from Link's Barbecue. It gets you, you get to actually bottle, label, and dip your own bottles. Real cool. Like, never going to happen again. Once in a lifetime thing. Get out there and do it. You need this in your life. It's super cool. You'll also be getting a premium cocktail, and you'll get a guided tasting through several of their whiskeys, and there'll be live music by the Midnight Travelers, and I will be there to photograph the entire thing. So it's going to be a great time. It's going to be amazing. Josh Butler is a good friend of ours, and he has put together this entire thing for the Herman Marshall, and so for the Whiskey Business event. And so Herman Marshall is where the pop-in spot for this Thursday at 7 p.m.
This Thursday, so that's the 8th. Thursday the 8th at 7 p.m.
Oh, you know what? I'm telling you the wrong day. It is the 7th, but it's June. I'm sorry. It is the 9th, June 9th. The date got
Friday.
changed.
Friday.
Yes, Friday. The date got
Friday,
changed.
June 9th at 7 p.m. in Wylie.
June 9th, Friday at 7 p.m.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sorry about that.
That's 3 days from today. Perfect.
Yes.
Well, that's very exciting. Almost as exciting as our first guest today. I'm going to let you introduce Alfredo as we bring him in, and then I can't wait to speak to him. We got to talk in the pre-show a little bit and just get an idea of him and his business. But I can't wait to have him share what he does and get to roundtable with us. So, Melissa, take a moment to introduce Alfredo for us.
Yeah, so Alfredo is actually an awesome guy. I met him. We served on the Draper Intermediate PTA board uh, this last year, and so it's really cool to see the dads and the dudes come and join us PTA moms most of the time, and really get involved. And so he's been in law enforcement for many years and owns his own construction company with a good friend of his. And so yeah. Alfredo, he's the man.
Alfredo, we'll bring him into the show. Alfredo, good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good morning, everyone. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited. I've had the opportunity to talk to you, Nathan, and I've been talking to Melissa for a few now. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My pleasure. When I saw that you were in construction, I was excited because I've never been in construction. I like to construct things. I don't know how well I do at them, but I've always just been fascinated with that. And we were talking before about the type of construction. It's pretty much just general contracting, everything, which is really a jack of all trades. So talk to us for a second, just about your business, your company, how you started, what you guys kind of do, specialize in, ideal client, customer, etc. Paint a picture for us.
Yeah, so the name of our company is IAS Construction. I've started this company with a very good friend of mine. We've been knowing each other since we were like 8 or 9 years old, and this is an amazing story because since we were kids, we always talked. I had two passions. I had a passion. I always wanted to be in law enforcement, but I also wanted to be a builder. I saw myself with tractors, and we talked. Moses and I, which is my partner, talked about, creating something in the future. Life took us to different directions. However, we reconnected here in Texas, and we talked about the construction business. So we got our ideas together, our areas of expertise together, and we formed what is now IAS Construction. We do general construction. However, 60% of our contracts right now with various builders and well-known builders are mainly, we have about 60% of our work is just made flooring. So we do a lot of build from scratch, from foundation all the way to top. And it's very exciting to see something that it wasn't there, but then it's
there.
Someone's palace,
Oh, yeah.
And you meet with the clients and you pitch in ideas. And I think that's the best part of what we do is the interaction with the client. Sometimes we create something, we build something, we transform something. And when the client come and sees the finished work, that face, that expression on their face, just amazed of what we've done. It's just a great satisfaction that nothing can take away.
So talk about, and I'm reading your bio beforehand, and just talk about the kind of the uniqueness of every project. And you were just talking about how the discovery phase and kind of figuring things out with the client is really the creative process. I think that most of the people that are eventually using the space or watching the space be constructed, they don't ever see that part. That seems to kind of be the most exciting part for you, because it's the creative juices flowing, and then really bring about a vision from the client into fruition. This is what they want, and then be able to deliver that seems to be a really exciting part of what you do. So that's a great way of bringing about engagement in the community, because yes, obviously your clients are within the community, but you're also putting a permanent structure in place that now everybody's going to see. I'm assuming you do mainly commercial. Is that?
We do residential and commercial.
We do both. Okay, awesome. So,
yes.
So that's even better.
Yeah.
So you naturally, in a different way than some companies, you put a stamp on the community with your presence, because you're creating things that people use. So how do you see it that way, I guess, is my question. And how
Absolutely.
do you even go beyond that because I know you're not building something necessarily and say, look what we did, but the result is you're contributing to the infrastructure of the entire community in a very direct way that others maybe don't have that.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that this is a really nice way to put it because yes, I don't just see a structure, I see something that's going to go into history. I see a
Mm.
building or a house that maybe when my grandkids, when my kids are driving through the area and say, "Hey, grandpa built that," or grandpa and his friend were part of this, and it creates history in a community, and the impact that comes with it as well. We generate employment as well, and it's something that it's amazing for a community, for the financial well-being of a community as well, and it brings the community together.
Well, and that really is the goal of the show, and I think really of all businesses, if they understand business, is to find that mark in the community. Right? Everybody has their target market, but are they making a mark in that target market within the
Correct.
show, within the the, the wider community? And so one of the things that happens a lot of times, and it goes right into our topic for today, is whenever you're starting a business or running a business or you're creating a business, whether it's new or you've had it for 20 years, there's always challenges that you have to overcome. And especially now, as Wylie continues to grow, the market is going to become more competitive depending on the area that you're in business. But I'm going to have Melissa start out here, if you don't mind. Talk about a couple
Absolutely.
of the challenges that you have had to overcome, or that maybe you see coming, and what it takes to address those, to overcome them, and then really compete, because there are a lot of photographers out there, right? So what are the challenges and how you overcome them? But then how do you set yourself apart? So it's like a three-part question. Hopefully you remember all that.
No pressure. So for me, I really don't feel like I compete with other photographers. Honestly, when I first got into this business, I started a studio that was built for other photographers to rent. I wanted, like, my mindset is very much community over competition. I want everyone to succeed. Like you said, there's a million, photographers out there. My husband owns a roofing company, and there's a million of those too, and we still do fine. There's enough for everybody out there. There's really no reason to, fight and compete for clients and things like that. And honestly, I am very set apart from all of other photographers. I do something that not a lot of people do. I take the guesswork out of all of it. I don't show you 200 images. I show you 30, and then you narrow it down from there, and we kind of nitpick the photo together. What do you love about this? Or do you love this photo, but why don't you like it? I like it, but I don't like it. I don't know why. Well, tell me why. Tell me what it is. Like, let's go through it, and I really want my clients to have exactly what they want when it comes to, anything. I've taken, I don't like to change a lot when it comes to a person's features, but, I've had people come and say, they had wine stains on their face. Can you please just make my face look like the other side? Sure, let's work on that. And so if they want that kind of thing and I can provide that to them, I find a way to do it. So it goes beyond just the artwork even, and having the session. It's a whole creative, behind the scenes Photoshop and Lightroom, and lots of editing sometimes, depending on what we're doing. But really, my biggest problem, like the hardest thing for me in business, is finding people that can work for me. um,
Mm.
and I say that, like, I really need people to work for me that have a passion for it and value, photography and artwork in general, but also are dedicated and really want to be here, not just like, oh, it's just a photographer, like, whatevs. I really need some passion behind the employee pool these days. So really
The,
what
pro-
I've
the
done though
problem is it's hard to find. I mean, it's almost impossible to find people that will take your business as seriously as you do,
right.
and that's the tough
Yes.
part.
I have
But
found a loophole somewhere. A recent guest actually on the show, sad that I didn't think to invite her first, but she was already taken, so I let it slide. No, but she, Melissa Urban with Blue Box Digital Media, she does literally everything for me now. She does all my social media stuff. I started that over a year ago, but just recently, the last several months, I mean, I don't even know how to explain how much she has transformed my life. Thanks, Melissa, love you. It's a bunch of Melissas over here in Wylie, by the way. So, but yeah, finding people like that is way easier than finding someone that I have to hire. And honestly, she only worked a few hours, and got more done for me than I could have probably done in several years because of my ADHD brain. So I need someone to help keep me focused and straight and doing all the things. And hey, Melissa, don't forget to do this. And so hiring that kind of stuff out on a basis where it's not, having to have an employee and really you're just buying services, it's made it a whole lot easier for me to move forward and not really stress so much about having an entire employee staff, so it's pretty great, actually.
We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, I'm going to open the same question to you, Alfredo. So guys, stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference-Wylie.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Marley Knapp with Norwex. Chemical-free sustainable solutions for your home. Dallas Jones with Rementas.
Bringing your technology and memories back to life.
Melissa Berry with Lawyer's Title. Melissa Mancini, owner of Melissa Mancini Photography. Don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs. And by Terra Padilla with Texan Window Cleaning. Don't let dirty windows be your pane in the glass. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
The Difference Media LLC is made possible by the following partners and sponsors.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, discounts for seniors, military personnel, and students, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond, let us get it out of the dust. Do you love the great outdoors but hate tent camping? Well, then you need to check out North Texas Glamping Adventures. We offer a one-of-a-kind glamping experience. Our 2021 32-foot travel trailer that sleeps 5 is fully furnished and equipped with all the luxuries of home, including everything you need for a comfortable stay, including linens, towels, a kitchenette, and a private bathroom. Even lanterns, an outdoor cook stove, and chairs. But the best part is, we will even deliver and set up your travel trailer for you, within 75 miles of Wylie, Texas. So all you have to do is show up and enjoy your outdoor adventure. So if you have been dreaming about a weekend at the lake or campground, then click the link in the description or give us a call at 214-883-1294. So what are you waiting for? Book your stay at North Texas Glamping Adventures through OutdoorsE.com today.
In your car, at work, at home, and through your ear pods.
That's why I listen.
2940 The Difference. On air everywhere.
The Difference, its show's host and co-host would like to thank all of our sponsors, because together, we can all make the difference. To learn more about our sponsors, go to our website, www.thedifferenceradio.com. And now back to the show.
Welcome back to the North Texas Community Difference in the great city of Wylie. I was trying to think of something like East related. What is the mantra of St. Louis, the gateway to the West? I was trying to think of something like that, but it just totally fell flat. So no judgment. I'll bring our wonderful co-host and guest back in. One of the things I was thinking, Melissa, when you talked about, I don't necessarily feel like I'm competing. I was listening to a video by Simon Sinek. Are you guys familiar with him at all? You should definitely look him up if you're not. But he was talking about the difference between a finite business and an infinite business. In a finite business, he talked about, finite businesses find competitors and they compete hard with them. And if they win, it's almost like they don't know what to do next, right? Because they have a more narrow vision. An infinite business has more like rivals in a sense, and people that make them better. Like it's almost like it's more of an infinite competition, if you will. But a rival is somebody that you respect and you want to make sure that they're pushing you and you push them. And when you operate business that way, there's thousands of photographers, thousands of construction companies, but there's enough work to go around, right? If you have that right mentality, then you are always challenging yourself to get better. You're looking at your rivals with a degree of respect, maybe even, working together at some point, collaborating, depending on the situation. But I like that you weren't threatened by that question at all. And it just reminded me of that, and how when you run your business a certain way with a larger goal in mind, which is kind of where you're going, and not so much the immediate, like, we've got to beat them. Do we hit these numbers, whatever? Then it makes it, one, I think, a lot less stressful, but a lot more rewarding too. So our topic, of course, today, talking about overcoming challenges for local business owners and what it takes to thrive in a competitive market. Alfredo, question to you, sir. Some big challenges. I'm sure in the construction industry, the challenges are very different than the photography industry. So talk about what those are, probably a lot, but what do you see the most, or maybe what you're dealing with right now and what you're doing to overcome those?
Absolutely. I think that right now, one of the most well-known issues currently facing the construction industry, and I can probably say that every other, business as well, is the shortage of works. It's really hard to get, labor, to get people to come do the work. There are many factors that are involved, through that. One of them being is just a generational, issue that we're facing. Another one right now is the cost of material and the availability of the supply chain. Sometimes we have to wait weeks or months for windows, and while we're doing that, while we're waiting for the manufacturer to deliver those windows, we have the project stuck. And we have already invested so much money into this project that we can take that investment and take it somewhere else to start another job. So our assets are pretty much frozen in that particular project. Now we're having to wait months before the shipping of those windows or whatever we had ordered, custom cabinets, etc. So that's one of the biggest issues that we're facing right now. In regards to competitive competition, I think that Melissa said it very nicely, and I think I concur, and I commend her for having that mentality of, I think that there's room for everybody. I think right now, yes, there's competition, but nonetheless, we have had the opportunity to divide the work with our other, colleagues or other workers. Sometimes there's trades that I don't feel comfortable touching, that although, some people can say, what, we'll figure it out, we'll make it happen, and we'll get a piece of the pie. We see things, differently. We see things that if there's a business that has just started, and it's something that I can give to that company, we outsource that to someone else and we collect zero from it. We let them take full profit, full negotiation. That way, their business is also known, and there's room for everybody. Here the market is growing, it's blooming. We do anticipate that this summer we've already seen a huge increase in projects and bids, and my partner Moses Segovia is actually swamped with all those estimates. So there's room for everybody, and I think that most importantly, like Melissa said, and I'm going to repeat, what she said, is not about the competition. It's more about the community being together and working together as a whole. Sometimes I reach out to other people. I go online and reach out to other people just randomly here in the area and say, hey, I have, for example, yesterday, someone had just called me and said, hey, I need a landscape work. We're redoing our entire yard. We're going to remodel the yard, right? That's something that I could have got a few guys, send them over there, make a few bucks, right? But I instead reached out to some local landscapers, someone who may be, probably having, just more opportunities. So it gave him a call and say, hey,
Specialize in that. Yeah.
okay, are you interested in this? He said, absolutely. How much? I said, you know what? I don't know. You go. This is completely yours. You negotiate it. If you need me to kind of intervene because we've already had that relationship with the client, let me know. We can help you out. I've never met this individual, never knew who he was. I just knew that he did a great work. It was recommended. Send him his way. So I think it's not the competition. I think it's keeping the community together and knowing that I'm supporting them and they're supporting us, like you mentioned, Nathan.
Yeah, that actually. So I want to throw up a comment here from Lynn, who talked about the scarcity mindset, right? And it's interesting what you said, because you could have taken, I'm having supply chain issues. I maybe don't have as much business. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take this landscaping job. But you see the bigger picture. You realize, well, first of all, everyone's dealing with a supply chain issue. But is it worth me putting together a team to go do this for an extra buck, or can I bless another business or a partnership or build continue to build on a relationship by giving a company that specializes in landscape an opportunity? And then those things usually come around, which is really, and that's not why you do them, but Melissa, the scarcity mindset, I think, is something that so many business owners, businesses in general, deal with at some point, especially when you're starting out. Like, you really need to make some money, like a small business owner. You're trying to pay bills, right? But if you become victim to that, it really can almost damage your place in the community, as far as maybe not to people's awareness, but your understanding of your role in the community, because you almost start kind of grabbing up everything you can, and that really messes up the infinite type of business that I was just talking about. Have you ever had to deal with that early on, or just how do you see that being a problem, or more importantly, a solution to overcoming that mindset?
In the beginning, yeah, the scarcity mindset, because I didn't know what I didn't know. But if I could give any advice to anyone starting a business, specifically in photography, but any business, if you're just starting out and you don't know what to do, go out there in the community, join the chamber, join the PTA, something, get in there and volunteer and get to know your community member and the people that are actually in the places that you want to be known as, known in. And then go get a business coach. Get a business coach. They're so, I can recommend photography ones. There's like you were talking about earlier, the having competition that sort of like drives you, and it becomes like this passion fire for you. There is a photographer named Cindy Arthur. She is in McKinney, Allen area, I believe, and she's crazy good, like amazing. Love her. I am literally going to get in a plane and fly to Orlando. She lives here. She's going to be teaching a class in Orlando in February, and I'm going to go see her so I can train with her, just so I can learn some more things that she does, because I've started kind of following her, and I love her editing style. And so I've really kind of started trying to mimic or get close to the style that she's in, not to copy her, but I love it. It's dreamy and I love it. And my clients have actually loved it as well. So I think that as long as you get out there and you support other people, like Alfredo said, people are gonna give business back to you. He doesn't know that guy that he sent business to, but that guy is gonna remember him. He's gonna remember that Alfredo reached out to him and gave him free money. I mean, essentially, you know what I mean? And so I have every belief, Alfredo, that he is going to call you back one day and do the same thing. And it might not be tomorrow, but it'll be in the future. So yeah.
Well, as we hit our last commercial break here, we'll wrap up the show right on the other side of that. I want to just thank Alfredo for coming on with us. Obviously, if you have any type of construction needs, sounds like he's pretty busy regardless, even though he's having some supply chain issues, everybody else is, but he's finding the way to find the right people to help. Obviously, has a giving heart, as we just talked about. And so a guy that you definitely want to not only meet, I don't know if you got a lot of opportunity or a lot of time to go to coffee with people or lunch, but if you get a chance to sit down with Alfredo and just collaborate on some things, obviously a great guy, and is going to do quality work for you if you guys end up doing some work together. So thank you, Alfredo, for being on with us today. It was a pleasure meeting you. Hopefully we can connect offline at some point. And we're going to hit our last commercial break here. I know you have to take off, but on the other side of that, Melissa and I will wrap it up. And again, thank you, Alfredo. We'll hit this commercial break and then wrap up the show.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nathan and Melissa, for having me. You have a blessed day.
You too. My pleasure.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Jenny Connolly with TC Roofing and Restoration. Trust TC to keep you leak-free. Jessica Cooper with Diesel Signs and Displays. The Power of Advertising. Lynn Heberly with Coldwell Banker Apex, guiding you home with heart and expertise. Megan Lunty with Brightway Insurance. If you are not insured the right way, call Brightway. And by Marissa Page with Page Restoration. When the worst happens, let our family take care of yours. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
Well, we're going to wrap up the show here shortly. I want to do a couple of rapid fire questions to get to know Melissa a little bit. But first, one of the comments when I was trying to figure out the motto for Wylie, Dallas Jones reached out and let us know it's Wylie. And I've heard that, so I guess that'll have to suffice. I don't know.
I'll tell you that.
I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what he says. So, Dallas, if you want to elaborate in the comments, that would be fantastic. But were you about to say?
It's just very old school. Honestly, I didn't remember it until after I moved here. My grandfather actually coached here. He coached the first girls basketball team, or junior high, I think, basketball team that there ever was in Wylie. And he was one of the football coaches way back when all of the namesakes were teachers and administrators like Dodd and McMillan and all of those guys. So it's been pretty cool to think about all the past. When my grandfather was like, "Oh, wide awake Wylie," he would say things that now I'm remembering that he would say. So
it's been around for a long time.
It's been a long time.
Okay. Well, let's do a little bit of rapid fire. Let our viewers and anybody that will be watching on the or listening on the radio side of things get to know you just a little bit, and then we'll wrap up today. So this is one of my favorite questions, and I'm putting you on the spot here. So we did not prepare any of these. So this is going to get the honest, raw answer from you. Top 5 people that you would have invite to a dinner party, dead or alive, throughout history.
Whoa.
I know. Well, let's just do top 3. Make it a little easier for you.
I'm like, oh, throughout history. Oh man, I know you're gonna throw this one at me. Man, I don't know. So probably the photographer that I said earlier. I really actually had dinner with her before. She's nice. She's great. I love picking her brain, and also I think, honestly, not braggadocious at all, but I think she liked picking my brain. I think we know things that each other doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like, and so that was kind of cool. I don't know. Probably my grandfather, maybe my dad's dad. Just, I didn't really get to know him that well. He died when I was young. And my husband's dad. He passed away as well. I mean, it's not anybody fancy.
Well, hey, it's your party. It's your dinner party. So.
Yeah, I would love to have those two guys there for sure. If to bring them back. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm kind of simple.
Hey, that's totally okay. So you grew up in Atlanta. Talk about a suburb of Atlanta. And Dallas is saying that this was the Wide Awake Wylie goes back to when Wylie was a farming community. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to look that up now. I'm very curious. So growing up in the greater metro Atlanta area, what was one of your favorite things to do as a child? What did you look forward to? Or
well, I actually grew up mostly in the DFW area, but I did go to high school in Atlanta.
Okay, so you were from here.
For a while.
Well, so then growing up here, what was one of your favorite things to do?
Well, to take it back there, one of my favorite things to do, and I don't even think it exists anymore, was to go to concerts. But Music Midtown was one of the amazing things. It was like a weekend-long venue thing. They sort of have the same deal in New Orleans, which my husband is from, and my kids were born there, called Jazz Fest. And so I really like lengthy concert venue events, and so that's really cool. But in Dallas, I mean, all the things. I don't know. I used to go to the Mesquite rodeo. My grandparents lived in Mesquite, and so that was always super fun. That's
fun. We on one of our other shows on The Difference, we had one of the marketing people for the Mesquite rodeo on last or week ago or 2 weeks ago, and they're getting. I guess rodeo season is starting. I don't know whether there's a season, but apparently there is. So, yeah, I love the rodeo. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going. I cut you off.
Oh, no. I mean, my grandparents used to take us on big road trips in, I don't know the name of this van, but it was this huge van in the back seat, like folded into a king size bed. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
We would load. Yeah.
With the roof, it had the high extended roof. It was like taller.
Yeah. And
we had one of those
when you didn't have to wear seatbelts.
Yes.
So, I mean, it wasn't a law. And so you just did whatever, sleeping everywhere, walking everywhere. But they would take us on trips to Galveston, way back in the day. We would go there often. And my family.
When it was more fun to go to Galveston way back in the day?
When it was a little nicer. I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to knock on them.
That's okay. We don't do a show in Galveston quite yet, so we can.
Yeah.
We can be honest.
And then they used to take us to Las Vegas. I have, fun fact, never been to Las Vegas as an adult. I have probably been like 10 times as a child.
That is strange.
So
it's kind of the opposite of what you would expect.
Yeah, circus.
Well, we know you didn't make any bad decisions while you were there then, so that's a good thing.
Well, no, I didn't.
They didn't find you on the craps table as 10-year-old. I hope that would be troubling. So.
Hey, Nathan, real quick before we go, something that Alfredo and I were speaking about that we didn't get a chance to talk about today that I think is really cool and totally deserves a shout out.
Sure.
So he said it's kind of in the, they're phasing into it. They're kind of testing all the waters on it, but he has about 3 kids right now, and he calls them kids because they're all under, I believe, 21 years old or so. But his company, they reach out to at risk youth.
we got it.
I'm really good at mixing up my words. And he actually offers them guidance and training on not just his industry and construction itself, but he offers them information and training about the business industry in general, like how to set a plan. And he sets 5-year goals with these kids and multiple other goals. But these kids are all, they have kind of seen the worst of the worst. They have a different mindset than a lot of people do. They come from a lot of crime and a lot of broken families and a lot of violence and things like that. And he really goes after helping them grow up in a more positive atmosphere for themselves, but also to really retrain their minds to become something better, like to you know, they say, you know, I got to get out of here, I got to move out of this small town type of thing. It really, you can stay where you are and just be great. And so he's teaching them, you know, the backside of a different side of life that they've never seen. And so I just really thought,
yeah, I mean, that's so important because, I mean, you talk about community engagement and making a difference as a business owner with school system and college the way that it has become now, where you don't, you know, you used to, you'd go to school and you'd spend much less than $150,000 and you come out with a degree that would get you a job that could sustain itself or sustain your family. And that's not really the case anymore a lot of times. And so trade school, I think, for a long time, kind of not demonized, but just not put up as a possibility for so many people. And it's silly because, you know, those are the things that really sustain the economy and everything that we're doing together. The whole infrastructure is, you know, number one, being a business owner, which they don't teach you that at all in high school. You know, in my industry, we talk about, you know, I'm in the finance world. We don't learn anything about money. We certainly don't learn anything about business. I mean, you can go to school and get a degree in finance and know nothing about money. It's insane. Same thing with business. You get your MBA, you couldn't start a business if it was given to you. It's, and I'm not saying that we have some MBA people probably going to yell at me. That's not always the case, but so don't. It's a generality, so don't shoot me or anything. But it's such a huge need for getting people to see not only their value and that there are other options. So yeah, I mean, that's awesome that he's doing that. I wish we could have talked more about it. And I think that's something certainly commendable. But that, I mean, you talk about doing something in the community that is vital. I mean, to really giving back and because it's always kind of the fringe of any community that is, you know, either gets in trouble or has some issues or whatnot, and being able to speak into that area, those people, especially youth, giving them hope, giving them options, giving them skills, right? I mean, most of the time people that end up, you know, really struggling in a lot of capacities, I don't want to make too many generalizations, but they don't have a lot of skills. And if they did, they could go off and do something else that would lead them down a different path for their life. So that's just fantastic. Obviously a great guy. You can tell that he has a heart for people and for his clients. And so that's super exciting. Maybe we'll have him back on again to talk about that more in detail. So,
yeah.
Well, Melissa, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you for being my co-pilot today. Lendon, I hope that you are maybe listening for a few minutes, but you stopped listening and that you're driving safely and that you're having a great time on the way to Estes Park and that you don't hurt yourself if you decide to ski. So
have a great time.
That's our hope. Melissa, thank you so much again for being on. Guys, this is brought to you by, obviously, the Difference live stream radio podcast, but also by the Wylie Master Networks chapter. As Melissa mentioned earlier, if you're looking to engage the community, obviously chambers, PTA, but also the Master Networks chapters, not only in Wylie, but the surrounding areas. Again, thank you to you, Melissa. If you are, give us a 1 minute, just kind of send off here of what you're working on, kind of the season of photography that you're in, and kind of what you're doing the most right now as far as clients or what you're looking for specifically. And I'll let you wrap us up.
All right. So with Melissa Mancini Photography, right now we are doing a lot of family sessions. You want to get those family sessions in as soon as possible because it is hot out there. I just did a session at 8:30 in the morning. It was 92 degrees. It was hot. It was hot.
Gosh.
And I think it was wet. It was like, it was steamy out there. So yes, the family sessions for sure. Let's get those on the books, but also summertime is here. If you own a business and you need to update your branding, product photography, anything, LinkedIn photo, business cards, website, all of that stuff, photography wise, let's get together and let's put together a game plan and let's really sit down and nail down exactly what you need and what you want and what will take your business to the next level. Photography will certainly do that, but we got to make a plan and get the right things down. So yeah, that's really what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. Melissa Mancini with Melissa Mancini Photography. Thank you for being on with us. Thank you, of course, to Alfredo with IAS Construction, and just phenomenal guest, a great guy to talk to. You guys, next show will be Thursday at 11:30. We'll have a whole new lineup of co-hosts and guests from the Wylie Master Network chapter. Melissa, a pleasure as always. You have a blessed day. Well, guys, we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you like today's show, please share, like, and subscribe, and make sure to shop, buy, and hire in Wylie. Special thanks to all the guests, co-hosts, and sponsors of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie.
Thank you for tuning in and watching our show. If you would like to see our next show, or more shows like this one, just click the QR code and go to show schedules, or just follow and subscribe to our channels to get updates and notifications of this show, and many others like it.